I was wondering if you would want to talk a little bit about the unique intellectual property challenges that you see with your clients.
Absolutely. The film producers are very scrappy. They are having very limited budgets, and they're also choosing a topic related to faith or spirituality, of which does not get a lot of accolades in the film festival circuit. And so then this is sometimes a project of endearment. And then other times it could be for an assignment for graduate studies. But nevertheless, sometimes they will have themes of spirituality and religion in the film, but then they will add romance or some type of horror in order for it to get that mainstream appeal, so that the film can have viability. So with that being the case, there could be lots of infringements, or shall we say opportunities for them to have to re-edit their work so that they can maximize getting distribution. And then others are very sophisticated, and they have a checklist from a distributor, from their sales agent, for them to follow when they're actually in pre-production planning for the success of the film. So it's a wide range of film producers that come through the festival. It's just a matter of having to have that one-on-one time with each one to determine which one may have particular needs that a law firm could assist them with.
So in this industry, do you find that a lot of these businesses come to you already with their work copyrighted?
Many will have it copyrighted, but then I believe that as they're working on their journey, it could have been the cousin or the friend that may have been the real estate attorney. And not to say that someone in real estate does not have a command on copyright, but sometimes they're just looking for the friend in the family that's the attorney, and maybe a few I's and T's were not dotted and crossed along the way.
I understand those scenarios where you have someone that's knowledgeable and they want to help a creative person, and it's really one of the reasons why we created ArtWorks, because we want creative people to have the utmost protection as possible. We want them to feel comfortable, with us, entrusting their work with us, knowing that, one, it's going to be protected, it's going to be properly promoted, right? And then also that they have a good relationship with you so that they can trust you, right, to cross those T's and dot their I's without being considered offensive to those that were just trying to help,
Absolutely.
So I have seen that many times. You just got to finesse it a little bit, because the goal is to protect the work. Generally, it's just to protect the work.
Yes, and many of the film producers have grand dreams, of which I want to support, because I'm not a dream killer. However, I do believe I'm a dream refiner. So then that way they can meet some of their deliverables along the way and not be disheartened if they meet some of the sharks that are in the entertainment industry.
I love what you said, a dream refiner. We gotta protect that. Gotta register that slogan right there.
And I want you to represent me.
Wait, are you using that slogan, or you just thought of it like, okay, this is a good way to explain it right now?
I just used it for our conversation.
Wow. Wow, you're creative. A lot of attorneys, myself included, don't consider themselves creative. To think of stuff like that's a catchy thing. So if anyone else is catching this replay or live, however it's coming out, listen. Ms. Thompson has already claimed that as her proprietary work of art. Is the dream refiner. I love it. I love it because it goes along with my theory about course correcting. Like you
Yes.
have a vision, but you got to course correct along the way. That's why you have a steering wheel on an airplane, on a car, or even on a bike, because you're constantly course correcting on your journey. So I think of it that way. But I like what you said, you're refining the dream. And you have to be so careful with creative people because it's their work, it's their birth, right? They've given birth to this thing and it's their baby. So that's why at ArtWorks we focus on the relationship, because if they don't trust you with their baby, you can't refine that dream. You can't, because they don't trust you to do that.
Yes. And also it's about them having future babies. And so wanting to be a part of that family as they continue to grow. And even if they make the big time and become the next Jerry Brockenheimer, I still want, for them to know in the back of their mind, when all else fails, they can come back and call me up and let me know what's happening if they come into a tight situation and they need to get some advice that is objective, but then at the same time helping them to get more focused on where they need to go and if necessary, pivot.
I love that. That goes along so much with what we teach here about establishing that relationship. And I always say happy clients make happy referrals, but I'd like to take it a step further. Happy clients will be with you for life if you want them to be, because they, like I said, this is their baby. They're not going to want to start a new relationship with somebody that they don't trust. Now, a lot of times because they have that mindset where they trust someone, they may be hesitant to leave them, even if they're not getting the best deal or the best service. That level of trust is important. And, not to disparage our creatives, we've all been there in relationships that aren't necessarily our best, but you learn to trust the person, right? So it's important. That's a big part of what we teach, that you establish trust, particularly with creatives, because they are sensitive. What did Erykah Badu say? I'm an artist and we sensitive about our shit. And when she said that was all she needed to say, because for attorneys to hear it in that raw way that she said it, we got it. We got it.
We understand, yes. And also in Erykah Badu's case, she's always coming up with something that is disruptive or transformative in the industry. And when you have someone that I can say is ahead of her time in terms of always coming up with something new and fresh and getting everyone so excited of whatever she's going to release. And that goes for all of the other artists that are out there. What is that new thing that's coming out that's so exciting that we all should be a part of? But then we also still have to remember that there's business and there's legal issues, and we just must address those before and during and after the life of that particular product.
Right. Because somebody's going to monetize it. Why not the creator, right? It's going to be monetized. Everything that is created, if there's usage value to it, it will be monetized. So it might as well be the creator person that actually put that out into the universe. So I had a question. I wanted to ask you, though, working so much in this film industry with these types of creatives, what made you feel that ArtWorks will be a good collaboration for you in your business and your clients?
I believe that ArtWorks is on the cusp and cutting edge when it comes to looking at ways in which we can have collaborative projects, that there are ways in which we can storyboard how can we make the maximum compensation as well as exploitation of this particular project, and do it in such a way that the artist benefits, the team benefits, and then all of those that are in the ecosystem to make that project come alive. And it's that type of fairness that I want to be connected to.
I love that. I should have put that somewhere in our in our promotionals, because that is pretty much absolutely what we do here. We make the artists first, and their work is so integral to the world. It absolutely is, because when you think about what they put out there for our consumption, it does something for the soul. It can be inspirational, uplifting, it can be teaching, or it just may be beauty, something beautiful to carry with you in your heart, or to put on. If you were, like earlier, we did a webinar on fashion and intellectual property. So we got into that in terms of what those creatives in that area contribute to our culture. And nice. A lot of times the creatives are not honored in that way. And that's what we do here at ArtWorks. So I'm happy that you say you see that without even, us saying that openly, that you see that and that it's in alignment with the work that you're doing. I'm super excited to get started working with you and working alongside you, and just watching things explode for not only you, but for your clients and that next level. Because I always say happy clients make happy referrals, but then like I said, they'll stay with you for life if that's, your personalities go well and they feel like they're being taken care of. So I'm very happy that you wanted to jump on with us today and share a little bit about the film industry. And I thought that was something so beautiful, because we talk a lot about music. We talk a lot about fashion. Even more recently, we're talking more about fashion, but we definitely do music in all areas of artwork. But very few programs are out there embracing film when it comes to intellectual property. So I'm very excited about this, and as well as some others that are coming on board who also have an interest, or not just an interest, a budding, expanding business in film. So it's going to be fun. I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely. It will be a robust curriculum in terms of making sure that we are looking at long-term goals as well as our short-term goals. And for me, my short-term goal is to make sure that I have a viable festival, online, virtual, reaching as many people as possible this third season, but then at the same time, begin to keep my eye out and ear out for any public policies as it relates to indoor space, whether we can in the future have a festival that's hybrid, where we are doing some type of drive-up cinema, although those types of locations are very limited in New York City, but I'm sure we could get a convertible or a balloon, some type of instrument to be able to project the films with an audience and have just a new version of a Woodstock per se of a film where all are enjoying it, having a great time, and not feeling as if they're missing out so much because of the global pandemic.
I agree with you, and I that's actually a part of our culture now, and I'm getting these emails from different theaters talking about movies on demand, but so much of the culture is about going to the movies. I was on the ferry over to Far Rockaway the other weekend, and I did see somebody, they were projecting a movie onto a building. And people that weren't even, they were just like almost freaking out, like, oh, a movie. They didn't care what the movie was. It's just that integral part of our culture that we miss it. So I'm excited to see what innovative things that this adversity is going to give birth to in terms of film. Very excited about that.
Right, but of course that lawyer in me is thinking, okay, did the artist get some type of broadcasting fee? did any of the permissions, is this considered just fair use because of the public enjoying it for the sake of whatever programming the city may have? But I won't take away the fun tonight.
That's fun. That's right up my alley. But yeah, we'll talk more and delve deeper in this. It's going to be fun, exciting. And I that's another thing about ArtWorks. We like to come together and have good, productive fun. Without the fun, it lacks a little juice. So, we know that the juice and passion is what makes things lucrative. So we're going to keep it fun. Mr. Shannon, you leaning in. Did you have a comment?
I think, I heard LaSonya sharing about, all those elements. And I think one piece she omitted, and I think it's just in her purity of focusing on helping the arts, but, her practice, without, backing this work that she's doing with the security of a transactional, law practice that will support all of this stuff that you all are talking about now, I think this would be a nice, bow to wrap around this subject. Is that out of this will be her announcement and the launching of this, IP law practice for her, and that backs and supports the festival and her production company and all of those elements that she has, referenced tonight. So, please keep that in mind. And as the whole point of our discussion today was, okay, how do we generate revenue from what she has already positioned? And so I wanted to, kick that back in there as a nice wrap up to our discussion, that literally these activities that we should set a goal to do in the next few days on her behalf will be the celebratory inaugural launching of the LaSonya Thompson IP practice.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for bringing that up. This is a perfect example of what happens here at ArtWorks. Mr. Stinnett is our chief business strategist, and he works with other junior strategists to train and teach and get them geared up to support attorneys as they develop their business. And clearly, I'm more on the either teaching the substantive law, but also on the mentoring. And we constantly say that the business strategists balance out the mentors. The mentors really get into the passion and the dream and the focus of where you want to go, what's the vision, but you have that business strategist with pen to paper. Like, okay, what's the next benchmarks here? Like you just said, what are we going to get done in the next 3 days? So
what's great about this session is that it's a great example of how ArtWorks fills the gap. And I'm going to bring our host back. I hope that our attendees enjoyed this interview and this dialogue to really give a beautiful illustration of what's happening on the other side of the screen, of the other side of all of this, messaging. When we begin the program and really dive into it, this is what's happening. And so I'm going to pass it back to our speaker, Ms. Wasemi. And she'll take you into ArtWorks Filling the Gap.
Thank you. Yeah, that interview goes on a little bit long. I think we really got into it with one of our newest applicants, or not even applicants, one of our new attorneys at ArtWorks. That interview got really involved, and you probably cut it at just the right time, Mr. Stinnett, because we were going to get into some of her proprietary work that we definitely don't want to be blasted on Facebook. But the goal of that is to show ArtWorks does fill the gap, right? So like I said, yesterday we were talking about fashion. Today we're talking about film. I thought it might be fun, instead of just, my mouth going like I have been in the prior webinars, to have a real live attorney, an interview of somebody that's already joined hands with ArtWorks to build her company, and to hear what she has to say. So I just thought that would be fun. But the reason why I can talk a lot about this is because, every new attorney experiences hidden barriers that most people can't understand. To them, it's enough that you are a lawyer, you're an attorney, but the fears you have are real, you know? And that's why I'm glad we cut the interview right where we cut it, because there may have been some things that Ms. Thompson wouldn't want to share with the world, but that piece I know she wanted you to hear. She wanted you to get that message. So what takes many years to learn is now neatly packaged in a step-by-step program, right? And this program reduces the learning curve to mere months. Our pilot program helped create the secret sauce. And if you go back a couple of slides where you see this image of this one, that was me. You see, she's there. Looks like maybe she's at the airport, not one of my favorite places, but she's experiencing a bit of stress because she's on that learning curve. You know, that was me, launching out confidently, you know, banging my knees and scratching my shins and hitting all kind of bumps along the way. And so then that brings you to what I said, our pilot program. Having gone that journey, you know, for the past 8 years, I have personally been working with new attorneys, senior year, 3L law students getting ready to graduate. And I want to pause and give them, you know, so much adoration for this journey they've gone with me, and appreciation because of them, those students, those new attorneys, they helped me create the secret sauce for success. Yeah, business strategy, mentorship, personal and professional development, and then an opportunity. And I put personal and professional development together because without personal development, without taking a look at yourself, who you are, where you want to be, the professional development doesn't mean anything. You know, so when I talked earlier about the studies from the ABA, they talk about business strategy and mentorship. But the piece that we're adding here that's a little bit newer is the personal development as well as an opportunity. Because you can have the strategy, you can have a mentor, you can have professional development and that training there. Without an opportunity to put it into practice, how do you get to success? So with ArtWorks, this is consistent. All 4 pieces are consistent throughout our 9-month program. Through the 9 months, you get 3 modules. One is Jumpstart, the other is Rollout, and the last one is Growth Cycle. And you know, some people feel like, well, you know, I've heard because I'm communicating with my people. And some people have been hesitant to join ArtWorks because they feel like 9 months is a long time. And I just want to, you know, enforce or compel or inspire you to see and know 9 months isn't long. It took 9 months for most of us to get here, right? So you are giving birth to your vision, your dream. 9 months is not that long to commit. If you're committing to your legal career or you're committing to building your firm, you're going to be building that for years. You're going to be growing that for years. Why not take the first 9 months and have a journey with an entire team that will support you through that? I hope you got that from the interview. So for attorneys looking to land an in-house position or launch their own practice, this is the formula for success. Those 4 pieces, right? Strategy, mentorship, personal and professional development, and an opportunity to practice. So Francisco, can you read what looks like testimonials here? 2 of them. Can you take care of both of them for me?
Of course. The first one reads, I couldn't have gotten this position without your influence. Working with you really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and it made me want to succeed even more. I just wanted to let you know how appreciative I am of you and your work. This is from a managing attorney, content protection at Sony Music Entertainment. The second one reads, my main goal was to gain practical experience in the field of intellectual property. I gained specific experience in IP litigation, trademark, patent, and copyright application, and gained better communication skills with clients. I truly feel that it was a wonderful experience in all aspects. I got a first-hand experience and had an extraordinary opportunity. Above all, it was a respectful environment, and I learned the importance of communication from an attorney in Israel.
And so I love these 2 here. We were in this series of webinars, we've been just pulling testimonials like, you know, out of a hat and sticking them in there. But these 2, I kind of fell in love with, and I said, I want to keep these in every one we do. Even if we do a whole, you know, webinar where we're talking about nothing but testimonials, these 2 are so important to me because you have 2 attorneys, each on a different track, each on a different ArtWorks track. So the first attorney she was focused on her dream job, right? So she worked with us, she got what she needed, and before she had even taken or passed the bar, right, she got her dream job. That's what she's saying here. And I love it because it says that it made me want to succeed even more. And then she shows appreciation, which I love. I love to give it, I love to receive it. We're all here together, loving and appreciating each other. And let me not get too woo because I can. But I love this testimonial because before she even took or passed the bar, having gone through the program, she landed her dream job. They hired her before she had taken or passed the bar. She's not licensed, right? And she got her dream job. And within 3 months, count 1, 2, 3, right? Having gone through jumpstarting her career, she was able to be promoted to managing attorney. So who's she managing? She's managing attorneys that have 5 years in the game, 7 years in the game, all of them, years of practice, right? ArtWorks shaved all that time off of her learning curve, and she's now managing them. I love that. And then the second one I love because it talks about the experience this attorney coming from another country gained. Specific litigation, intellectual property litigation experience, trademark experience, patent and copyright application, as well as he talks about communication skills that he now uses with his clients. And this attorney went into private practice. So you have two, and I'm glad these two were chosen. I like them because they definitely represent the two tracks for ArtWorks. And you have two attorneys that have come to ArtWorks, visualize their goals, and achieve them. Now, what do you all think about that 9 months now? Not too bad, huh? Mr. Stinney, you want to talk about what you get with ArtWorks, what you get access to? I want the people to hear what we have going on here.
So here at ArtWorks, once you get into the program, we make available to you office space, provide admin support, business strategy, research tools. And when you think about research tools, you think about what it costs for attorneys and or to law firms. Just a click of a couple of search keywords can cost hundreds of dollars. And so those are valuable options available that will be made available to you. Website hosting, social media, paralegal support staff, financial contributions, and fellowship application assistance, mentoring on substantive legal matters, issues, opportunities to shadow seasoned lawyers, and the list goes on. Assistance in training, practice management issues, continuing education. As an attorney, you're taking CLEs forever, right? So we're going to make those continuing ed opportunities provide access for that. Professional liability insurance, online networking, and I think there is more.
I love this list here because this is a list that every new attorney needs, whether you are building a career intellectual property where you want to, like the first attorney where she visioned herself providing intellectual property legal services to a major company, or if you want to go into private practice, right? You're going to need everything on this list. The ones that jump out to me most, being a senior attorney and in the business a little while, I know going down that list, the ones that jump out at me, business strategists. Going through law school, you're going to learn little to none, right? I know you all can vouch with me here. Business strategy is just not even an elective, right? Then research tools. I remember when I first started out in private practice and I was actually working with a firm, every time I clicked enter on a keyword search, it was $300. And that was many years ago. So I know the prices have not gone down. So that one jumps out at me. Then you have a team of paralegals and admin support. That's so important because the biggest complaint that clients have from attorneys, whether you're at a company or you have your own firm or you're at someone's firm, is communication. Not just emails. They want you to return their phone calls. That's the biggest complaint. But you're busy lawyering, right? You have a team of paralegals, you have admin support to get back to the client. Many times they just want to know what's the status of the matter. So you're going to have a support team there to help you. And then what's another thing that jumps out at, professional liability insurance. When it comes to intellectual property, professional liability insurance is among the highest. really focus on. Oh, I see mentoring. It says mentoring on substantive legal issues, and that's really important. You definitely get that. But the mentoring is important aside from the substantive legal issues, though that's the training piece. But the mentoring you get, that's when you can't sleep at night and you need to reach out to somebody. You need to pick up the phone and call and say, I've had a rough day. You need to say, I had this client that asked me a question, I didn't know what the hell. That's what your mentor will do. And these mentors have already been trained not only to support you, but to bring their whole self, their whole being, their networking, their business skills to support you. And it's very important because ours, not even to get into intellectual property, just in the legal field, period, it's one of the highest professions of alcohol and drug abuse because of the stress. ArtWorks takes the stress out of it and allows you to move with passion and the love that you have for the law, right? As well as providing a service for your clients. The love you have for creativity. A lot of attorneys that come through this program were coming from a background of dancers. I don't know how many ballerinas have come through here and leaving that world, and now they're going into the legal field, but still loving creativity. So ArtWorks allows you to connect to that passion, hold on to it, provide a service, and pulls away that stress. Like I said, it's one of the most stressed professions, right up there, I think, with neurosurgeons, right? Isn't that crazy? So ArtWorks give you the support. So you have the support and not the stress. The stress you're going to get is probably going to come from your business strategist who's going to tell you, wait, you have benchmarks here. You said in 3 weeks you're going to be here. Where are we on that, right? That's where your stress is going to come from. But still, that's someone who's behind you and supporting you, wanting you to reach your goals. So just look at that list here. Just take it in because it says and more. You get all that and more. So the final question. I think this is the final question. Is ArtWorks for you? If you are an attorney or a recent law graduate, a new attorney, or an attorney in another practice area that wants to transition to intellectual property, anywhere in intellectual property, general intellectual property practice, where generally you're supporting a business, or maybe you want to get very specific and go into film, like that's what we talked about today, film or fashion or music or science. I think tomorrow, the 9th, we're going to be doing the one on innovation where we'll have an inventor here doing an interview and sharing his experiences with ArtWorks as well as just the industry. But I digress. The point is, regardless of where you want to sit yourself or find your home within intellectual property, if you want a surefire plan to build your business and an experienced support team guiding you every step of the way, providing answers as questions arise, that's ArtWorks is for you. If you are an attorney or a recent law graduate, or like I said, an attorney that wants to change practice areas, and you want the fast path to attract clients, build your brand, and create revenue, ArtWorks is for you. It's a no-brainer. So I would encourage you, if you feel like you fall anywhere in that list, schedule some one time with me or one of our admission team members, and we can explore deeper into your strengths and your weaknesses to help you become the best attorney you can be in that area, right? And this line here, it says strengths and weaknesses because there has to be a balance. A lot of times we don't want to look at our weaknesses because we feel bad about it. I was talking with an attorney yesterday, and she's working in the area where she's working with creatives and helping them gain their patents. But we talked a lot about weaknesses and how a lot of brokenness or weaknesses gives birth to the strengths, the golden nuggets, right? So when you think about adversity, that can be considered a weakness, right? Like, so right now we can say a weakness in our economy, right? But there's golden nuggets there for you. When I talked earlier about there's a gap, a 30-year gap or 50-year gap where nothing's been done. But while that's a weakness in the profession, there's golden nuggets in there. And today I want to tell you the golden nugget for you is ArtWorks. Think about it. Get some one-on-one time with me and we can explore. So in conclusion, it's simple, but outside of ArtWorks, this program does not exist. With ArtWorks, you can have all the support and skills to be successful. So join us. This is an invitation, if not for you, you know somebody, you know, that is ambitious and courageous, and they're ready to help write that next chapter in legal history. Join us, and this is an invitation for you, for them. You know somebody, everybody knows somebody. So I want to encourage you to share this information, get some one-on-one time with me. And oh wait, there's more. I don't know why every time I forget this slide, because you know, I think I'm in the conclusion, but there is more. So what's the more? After you do that 9-month program, where you've gone through the training, you've mastered all the modules, a lot of times people don't want to leave, right? So join our legal incubator, and that way you can continue to get all of the support, as little or as much as you want, all the mentorship, all the practice skills and networking. You'll be invited to attend any of our trainings. Everything that you're offered during the 9-month residency program, you'll be offered for a full 3 years. That's the more, you know. And so I always say, like, after 3 years, maybe after a year, sometimes even after 9 months, someone has so accelerated that we ask them, if you're gonna hang out here, we want you to give back. And that's not even hard. It's not pulling teeth at all, because what happens is our attorneys get so full and invigorated, and then they look back and they see the next group coming in, and they see themselves, and they say, shoot, 9 months ago, that was me, and look at where I am now. So it's really kind of amazing, full circle, to watch that transformation. And when you see someone coming behind you that reminds you of where you were, then the value is really like in your face. And so those are the attorneys that tend to want to stay on and get some mentorship training. We don't just let anybody mentor. You got to go through some training, make sure you have some mentorship skills. I don't know if there's any questions that we have in the Q&A, but if so, I think we have, let's try to go about 2-3 minutes of questions. If we can't get them all in, make sure you put them in the Q&A, and we'll send out the answers, because I want everyone to have all the answers to any question you have about ArtWorks, about intellectual property, and we'll get to you. So, Ms. Acero, do you have something, or does somebody have something for me, a question?
I do. I have a few questions then. Somebody asked, in promoting this program, you say that intellectual property practice is recession-proof. Can you talk more about that?
Did I say that? If I don't remember saying that, but I absolutely believe it, right? Why is it recession-proof? It's recession-proof because there's always creativity. Always creativity. And so I remember when we first hit the height of the pandemic and everyone's on a lockdown, and you know, people were lamenting that. Do you know how much creativity came from the lockdown? Crazy. The USPTO has been sending out notices almost every single day saying, get ready, because you have so much creativity coming out. You have people coming to us trying to figure it out, and they can't, because they're not trained attorneys to handle it. Right? So the USPTO, the Copyright Office, the World Intellectual Property Office, all of these organizations have been reaching out to intellectual property attorneys and organizations like ours that train them, saying, get ready. We have all this creativity coming. Problem is, there's not enough attorneys trained to handle the number of people that are coming up with creative ideas that need protection. And so ArtWorks fills that gap. You know, ArtWorks is on a mission to train and support so that the world can have this creativity that's bursting forth, you know, during a recession or during this economic upheaval, right? Creativity is, people were locked down, right? They weren't in their usual 9-to-5 mode, so they had an opportunity once they calmed down and stopped freaking out, right? A lot of us had a freak out moment, but once the calm came, the creativity emerged. And it's not just me saying that. I'm telling you, the USPTO has been saying it almost every single day. Another question, is that good? Does that answer the question?
It does, thank you. Another one is what is the application process like?
Okay, so the application process is very simple, right? So you can, like I said, you schedule a one-on-one with me or someone from our admissions team. You can, I hope this link is in the chat, so you can get right to my calendar and get a chance to speak with me. In addition to that, contact information for admissions, you know, it's admin@artworkslegal.org. And then there's also a phone number, 859-3915, 646-859-3915. And I think all this information is available to everybody. If you're interested, call me. Call us. Someone wants to talk to you. You know, we are only accepting a small amount of people into this program, so it's small. We keep it small. You know, we've modeled ourselves after Harvard and Yale, you know, those stalwart institutions that only take in 10, 12 people. And the way they do that is they're protecting their brand. They're saying we'd rather have a small amount that we can nurture, right, and ensure their success. So we're doing that. But you can go to artworksincubator.com, artworksincubator.com, click on apply, right, and just put your information in. Put your information in. We've actually reduced, I don't know if the word's reduced. We've made the application process a little easier so that you can just apply today. We are not having you, before we were having you upload a lot of information, your transcripts, because we want to ensure you actually did go to law school, right? Upload your licensing. We're not doing that. Just apply, and then we'll get back in touch with you. Just because sometimes people are waiting in the wings. I don't have my transcripts, but I want to apply. It can take forever getting your transcripts, especially if you've been out of school a minute and you can't put your hand on it. So that process is a little simpler. But the most important thing is that you schedule a one-on-one, or if you're a little shy, you know, go to email admin@artworkslegal.org and put your question in there. If you're a little shy and you don't want to schedule one-on-one with any of us quite yet, run your questions through that email. Someone will definitely contact you in the communication style that you desire.
Okay, great. I know we only have a little bit of time. I have one or two questions depending on your time, but this one says, I am not interested in my own firm, but I do want more IP training to prepare me for the workforce. How does ArtWorks help someone like me?
Okay, so I was saying earlier that ArtWorks has two tracks. So it's the people that want to go into in-house counsel with a company, or they want to go into a large firm as an intellectual property attorney. And then you have the people that need the support in actually building their practice. So regardless of what track you want to go on, the training is the same. You're going to need to understand back and forth, blindfolded, hands tied behind your back. You're going to need to understand what the heck is a copyright? What is the process? How do I break that down? How do I look at a piece of work that my client has presented to me and in a snap say, you know what, I'm going to get you an opinion letter and do a little research, but looking at that, I think that's not registrable. You know, I don't think that's going to fit in the copyright area. We might want to kick that over to a trademark, because your clients will come to you with a poem and say, I want to trademark a poem. You need to know right away you can't do that, right? You need to know why you can't do that so they can explain it to them and put it in the right category. Because if it is a novel creative piece, you can protect it. That's all they want. So you're going to need to understand that. Getting a little bit more difficult. You talk about trademarks. You're going to need to know when you see or hear, and I think they're going to do smell soon, something that's novel connected to a source, whether or not it can be registered as a trademark. And then you're going to need to understand patents. So regardless of whether you're on a track to work in a company or a larger firm, or if you want to go ahead and build your own practice, you need this training. We've had attorneys walk with us, help them secure the employment that they desire, and stay with us, getting that mentorship, getting that support. So they may be in their office, the supervisor or the partner comes in and says, I need to know this in 5 minutes. Who do you think they're on the phone with? Their ArtWorks mentor, right? The employer doesn't know the support system behind them. They just know that they have an amazing employee that they want to, like the other attorney, that they want to promote in 3 months. So yes, ArtWorks can do both. Whether you want to go into in-house counsel or you want to get a job at a larger firm or strike out on your own, whatever your desire in those two tracks, ArtWorks can support you through that.
Okay,
We're good?
Yeah, last question would be, what if I'm not admitted to practice yet?
Well, if you're not admitted to practice, what that right away means is that you are not on a track to building a law firm. You may be undecided, right? So what you can do with ArtWorks, because it's a 9-month program and then you can stay on after, you're going to have time to study for the bar and take the bar. In the meantime, your practice, because remember, you get opportunities to practice, your practice will be within the ArtWorks organization. So if you're already licensed, ArtWorks can furnish you with clients. A lot of people come with their own clients and they're thinking, okay, I have all these people because I have this attractive personality and they think I'm an attorney. I don't know what to do with them, right? So ArtWorks can help you manage them. Then we have another group of candidates that don't have any clients, but they actually want to build their practice. We can furnish them with clients. And then you have attorneys, or is it lawyers? I forget which one. One means you finish law school and one means you actually have a license, that are not licensed to practice, as starting their own firm. Those are the attorneys that will stay and do their opportunities to practice within the ArtWorks organization. So ArtWorks does have clients that we keep, as well as those that we furnish to other attorneys. And then we have clients that we just refer out. So you will absolutely get an opportunity to put your hands in the clay, even if you haven't passed the bar yet. And we also do bar practice tests and support. Every month we do an intensive on a patent or copyright or trademark. Every month we do an intensive on that kind of work. And we also do bar prep. Good?
Excellent, thank you. That's it.
Okay, great. So this is the last slide, I believe, and I just want to thank everyone that gave the gift of your time in your afternoon, your lunch hour, to come spend with us, to enjoy that interview. And I'll be looking to see you, making an appointment with me or popping something in the email. You have a question, because of course, in this short period of time, we couldn't cover everything. I try to give you a little bit about ArtWorks, try to teach you about intellectual property, try to give you some more on film. There's so much that we could talk about in this area. So make an appointment with me or pop an email and get your questions clarified. If you have questions within the next 30 seconds or whatever, throw them in the Q&A and we'll make sure we will send out the answers to those questions as soon as possible. All right, so Mr. Stinnett, you wanna end it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. It was a great session, and we have some amazing individuals that were participating today. We also have some amazing individuals who are very excited about this particular segment, which is in the film and media space, and television and video. So have a great day today. Do something amazing. Create some new content, and make a decision about what you're going to do for growing your future. And we'll see you on the next session.